Member for North Island.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the federal government provides $1.41 per passenger per year to BC Ferries to assist operational costs. In contrast, they subsidise Marine Atlantic over the Atlantic provinces $493 per person, 350 times the amount provided to BC. Madam Speaker, the Premier has lobbied Ottawa to allow more temporary foreign workers, but has failed to get a better deal for our ferry infrastructure. So my question is to the Minister of Transportation. What does he intend to do to ensure that British Columbia receives a fair and equitable investment from the federal government for our coastal marine transportation infrastructure?
Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, and to the member opposite for her question. Every opportunity that I get to talk about the vision that this government has for BC Ferries, that we're executing on with BC Ferries, the Ferry Commissioner, and coastal communities, is a welcome opportunity indeed. As the member knows well, our vision spans a wide spectrum of different initiatives that are being pursued, the conversion to LNG propulsion, cable ferries, alternative technologies, passenger ferries in complement to vehicle ferries. There were some service adjustments as well as part of that. Honourable Speaker, with respect to the federal government, on every occasion when the opportunity presents itself in interactions with federal ministers, I certainly raise this issue of the level of federal subsidy. This government has certainly pointed out that there is, in our opinion, an inequity there. And we will continue to point that out and work collaboratively with our federal partners.
Thank you. Member for North Island on a supplemental.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I don't really think that's much comfort that the Minister talks about his vision for ferries, and then he occasionally might talk to the Minister about various things without having a concerted effort, a concerted lobby to the Minister of Transportation, to the federal government, to get a fair deal for British Columbia. What we want is a fair deal. We're not asking for any reduction in services to other provinces, but we want to have our fair share. We've seen fares go up, we've seen services cut, we've seen ridership and revenue plummet. The response is more fare increases and more service cuts. We know we're getting shortchanged both in our operating dollars and our infrastructure dollars from the federal government. So to the Minister of Transportation, will he, and I'm willing to work with him on this, will he make a concerted lobby to the federal minister to ensure that we get our fair deal here in BC?
Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Whether it's in respect to infrastructure funding, whether it's changes that we need to see on the labor side of things, and indeed whether it's pursuing additional support from the federal government for our coastal ferry service, this government at every opportunity aggressively pursues the interests of British Columbia. Now, Honourable Speaker,
Members, please continue.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. And indeed, I have had numerous face-to-face meetings with federal ministers over the last year and a half. I have very clearly articulated British Columbia's desire to see a heightened level of federal support for our coastal ferry service. We are also working with Transport Canada on other issues that we think that could assist us in our efforts to drive down fares, including looking at crewing levels, for example. Honourable Speaker, we're going to continue to pursue every opportunity that we can, including working collaboratively with the federal government to drive down fares and ensure that the ferry service is sustainable for the long term.